Karen tells me to stop the ride, so I did. The day I made a Karen cry. I work at an amusement park and we have this ride called Moby Dick. This ride is 100% controlled by the operator. A couple of weeks ago this woman and her friend came up to my ride making fun of one of the kids that were on the ride. She was saying so many hateful things about how they look. Without even looking at her, I told her to stop, and this is how it went. Me: "You're literally talking about a 7-year-old like that. You need to stop or you will not be allowed on the rides." Karen: "But it's true, look at them." Me: "Don't disrespect other guests please, it's not okay." Karen's friend: "Stop Karen before you get us in trouble again." Karen: "Whatever." When the ride was finished, I start letting the next group of people in. I say do not pull down on the bars, pick any seat you'd like, to everyone as they walk in, since pulling on the bars can break the seats over time. I let a group of young boys in before Karen's group and they sat at the end seats. Karen marches over to the kids yelling at them to get out of her seat and that she paid to sit at the end. Me: "Miss, please stop yelling at the kids or you will be removed from the ride with no refund in tickets." Karen: "Don't tell me." Karen's friend: "Stop it Karen, just sit in the middle." She complained the whole time walking to the middle seats and then pulled down the bar. I was thinking it was time to get a manager over, but I didn't want to bother them with her. Once I got everyone seated, I closed all the seat bars. When I was checking the seats, Karen's one was on the loose side, so I pushed it in a little to make it tighter. Karen: "You're trying to kill me. First you left my seat open, now you're making it so I can't breathe." I ignore her and keep checking seats. When I finally start the ride, I slowly rock it and Karen is screaming to take her off, so I make the ride go faster, doing full circles now. Halfway during the ride, Karen screams, "Stop the ride you ducking witch." She wants me to stop it. Fine with me, I park the ride at the top of the ride like I do when closing, but keeping the ride on. The 6 others on the ride weren't scared. The ride stopped. Karen started screaming bloody murder, crying and begging to be let down. The parents watching know what she said before their kids and know what's going on and start laughing. After around 30 seconds she is screaming let me down still, so I do on the fastest setting. I start the ride spinning full speed. I made the ride a little longer since all the kids were having fun. Before I opened the seats, I scream a warning. Me: "Wait for the bars to be fully open and stay above your head before getting up. Stay seated." Karen pushes it up and gets up, having the bar fall back down and hit her in the head. Her friend laughs at her and get up, walking her off the ride. TLDR, Karen bullied kids, didn't listen to rules, so when she told me stop the ride, I left her on top, then made it go full speed, making her cry. Then she hit her head on the seat bar. Sorry, I'm not good at telling stories, but felt like this belonged here and that at least one of you would enjoy.
Now to the comments. Points to you for standing up for the kids. On a side note, I need to try this ride.
OP replied, "It has many names for it, but I know it as Moby Dick, and if you do try it, the left side feels like it goes the fastest since left side goes faster for some reason, lol."
Well done. One of my first jobs was working in a theme park, and my first ride to operate was a Zamper La Crazy bus. Similar type of ride. Completely manually operated too, a speed dial and a direction switch. Was great fun pretending it was broken down and stuck at the top when there were difficult guests on board.
OP replied, "I do the same thing, haha. I was expecting something far more extreme than this. Karen really was just exaggerating."
OP replied, "All it takes is a fear of heights or the feeling of force to make it scary. I have adults screaming on it all the time. How the hell does a person like that even have a friend?"
Could be a sister.
Ah yeah, good point. We do often have to put up with more bullshit from relatives than we would like. Ducking amazing. You keep doing you. So, bye bye, the Karen I made cry. She rode the ride to the top, but it was too high, and them little kids were Logan at the Karen in the sky singin', after this I bet she'll comply, after this I bet she'll comply.
OP replied. You dead ass made bars I can't.
I'm sure she'll go online and rant. What a ducking witch. First, she, a grown-ass adult, bullies 7-year-olds for how they look, screams at them for taking her seat, then gets scared shitless on the ride while her younger counterparts are having a blast. I think the pony rides are more her speed. I feel sorry for that woman. Not because she got what she had coming, but because of how hard the road to being a better person is for that messed up soul. Hopefully she starts listening to her friend more often. Thank you for helping Karma. That was awesome. Wish I had been there to watch it and record her LOL. I grew up with a Moby Dick ride at the Jersey Shore and lost many shoes on that thing. This brought back good memories.
OP replied. The number of shoes I've had to dodge, mainly flip-flops, slides, and Crocs.
I sometimes wonder if a Karen reads Reddit and recognizes that it is her that a poster is describing, then if she learns and starts being a nice person or just thinks it's everyone else that is the problem.
A Karen who saw a story about herself would not be able to resist commenting some eerily specific excuse for the Karen in the story. I'm saving this to sort by controversial later, winky.
Her barista probably made her caramel macchiato wrong that morning and it was also hot out. You could say, she raised the bar for Karens.
OP replied. Ba ha ha ha.
Worked at an amusement park in high school. A Karen got angry because I wouldn't let her on a roller coaster with her 2 kids in the same seat. Max 2 per car. She sits down anyway and pulls the lap bar down with a smug grin, so I press the seat release and take the key out of the ride. The long line of people started yelling at her and a manager noticed and came to see what was going on. The manager took my side, so she decided to call the police because we are stealing from her. TLDR, police came and didn't even talk to me. They yelled at her for calling them and removed her from the park.
How dare you try and protect her children from harm? She paid so she should be allowed to squish her kids to death on your roller coaster. Dirty thieves. /sarcasm.
This reminds me of when my daughter was young, maybe age 7, and I took her to a fairground and we watched a ride that was like little boats going up and down on a circular ride. We watched for a minute and decided to go on it later. I wished that we had watched it longer because when we did go on it the operator cranked it up really fast, so much that it was a blur. He was encouraged by other kids and they were screaming with delight whereas my poor daughter was absolutely terrified and screaming and crying in fear. She was in bits afterwards and I wasn't great either. We left soon afterwards but not a good day.